Hi, John here with L.P.M. and a quick look at the recently released iBooks edition of the Beatles Yellow Submarine animated storybook for iOS. With their ongoing efforts to bring the Beatles' music and mystique to the iOS generation, Apple followed up the Beatles' December 2010 arrival on iTunes with the December 2011 release and free download of an animated ebook version of the Beatles' 1968 classic animated film, The Yellow Submarine. Now, I admit I was a bit too young to have been aware of the original movie when it was first released, but I've been a Beatles fan for as long as I can remember. I was very curious to see this one pop up in the Apple's iBooks store, thinking that maybe it was a newly digitized version of this antiquated Yellow Submarine gift book released concurrent with the original movie back in 1968. Frankly, I was curious to see how they'd address some of the notable editorial mistakes found in this original gift book. But as it turns out, the original film was adapted into a children's storybook in 2004, and it is that adaptation that's been fashioned into an iBook for iOS devices, such as the iPad, or the iPhone, or the iPod Touch. And thanks to this form of ebook technology, this edition also contains a few bells and whistles, as well as some fun surprises. But enough chatter, let's check it out. Opening this iBook, you'll immediately find yourself entering the familiar landscapes of the animated film and its unique visual stylings. Once you get into the story, you'll find that many of the pages contain animated visual elements moving on the screen, many of which you can even interact with, tapping on to initiate an action or even a sound snippet from the movie, such as recognizable sound effects or short bursts of music. Likewise, you can even tap on specific bold print words to activate additional corresponding audio snippets. There are a number of fun surprises throughout the book, and I don't want to give them away, so just be sure to tap on the creatures and people and devices and musical instruments wherever you see them, remembering that this is adapted from a children's storybook designed to delight and engage children, as well as to encourage them to explore. Just as with any iBook, you can simply swipe across the screen to turn the pages, but you can also navigate quickly throughout the book by moving across the navigation bar at the bottom of the screen, or even by selecting from the bird's eye view of all the pages at once. Several of the pages contain embedded video clips from the original movie, which helps the story come to life, especially for a younger audience who may be used to viewing content in such a visually engaging way. Just tap on one of these clips to watch them either embedded in the page or blown up to full screen size. And if you like, you can even choose from the audio preferences to have the story read to you with the built-in narration provided by notable actor Dean Lennox Kelly, who manages to perfectly capture personalities of the characters and the tone of the story. And finally, at the end of the book, you'll find a 13-song listing of Beatles music featured in the movie, including tap-to-listen samples of each listing, references to the original albums in which those songs were released, and quick access buttons through which you can purchase and download those songs directly from iTunes. If you're a Beatles fan or want to introduce a young reader to the Beatles and their music, the Beatles Yellow Submarine for iBooks is a great way to sample their music, their unique personalities and sense of humor, and even enjoy a strangely enchanting journey through Pepperland without the need for recreational pharmaceuticals. The Beatles Yellow Submarine for iBooks requires iBooks 1.5 or higher on an iPad, iPhone, or iPod Touch, and though the requirements also note iOS 5 or later, I've had it work fine on iOS 4 as well, so there's that. Anyway, it's a fun addition to your iBooks library, and it's a free download, so be sure to check it out. I'm John with L.P.M. Thanks for watching.